in essence, that when we read the Bible sometimes, I think we read the Bible with a lens that we're always the hero, that we're always the good guy, we're always the one who's doing good. We never see ourselves as the bad guy, and I think that could be not a danger, but a wrong way to read scripture sometimes. To always see yourself as the hero, because really we're not the hero. Hey, my name is Braden Cordero for y'all who don't know me. I am the RA down in Village Basement alongside of Trace, and I've loved it so far. So my Devo, to go ahead and get into it, I really was thinking on what I would want to do it on and what story that's impacted me the most. And for me, that's been the Good Samaritan story alongside of the Mary and Martha story. So in the short time that I have, I'm not going to read the whole thing. So I encourage you, maybe pause this video, it's only like a few verses, to read Luke 10:25 all the way down to chapter 11. This story really has always mesmerized me for many reasons. One is, why would Luke put these two stories right beside each other? Because if you know anything about Scripture, the Scriptures always relate, right? And so in the parable of the Good Samaritan, it's like Jesus is, in a sense, telling us, hey, what you're called to do is you're called to go be the Good Samaritan, right? That's what, as we as readers say, all right, we're the Good Samaritan, we're called to go serve, we're called to go love people. So that's what we take away from the Good Samaritan story. But if you kept reading, and you read the Mary and Martha story, it's Martha asking for help. It's Martha asking for Mary to come help her in the kitchen. And Jesus says no. He says, Martha, Martha, the Lord answered, you're worried and upset about many things, but few are needed, and indeed only one. Mary has chosen what is better and will not be taken away from her. What Mary's doing is sitting at the feet of Jesus. Martha's asking for Mary to, in essence, be the Good Samaritan to her. And so when I read this, I'm like, well, Jesus, you just said to go be the Good Samaritan, now you're just telling us to sit at your feet? Like, almost these stories are almost contradicting each other. It's like, well, which one do we do? Do we go sit at your feet, or do we go do the Good Samaritan? Like, when I read this and put them up beside each other, I was like, why would the author put these two stories right beside each other? Now, I was really confused. And I thought about it more and more. And when I realized what the answer was, and I know there's maybe not one specific answer, but the answer I loved the most was that I'm not the Good Samaritan. In essence, that when we read the Bible sometimes, I think we read the Bible with a lens that we're always the hero, that we're always the good guy, we're always the one who's doing good. We never see ourselves as the bad guy, and I think that could be not a danger, but a wrong way to read scripture sometimes. To always see yourself as the hero, because really we're not the hero. And so if you read the Good Samaritan story in a different way, where you're not the Good Samaritan, you're the man who was beaten on the side of the road, who could do nothing, who was begging for people to come help him. You're not the Good Samaritan in a way that you're the broken man who is asking for a Samaritan to come help you. Every man who walks by, you're asking for help, you're begging for help, and no one's come to help you. You're the man who, if someone doesn't come help you, you're going to die. That's who you are. You're not the Good Samaritan story. And so then when you put that up against the Mary and Martha story, you say, okay, now I can see clearly what we're called to do. That Jesus is the Good Samaritan. That Jesus was the one who came and helped us. Like, the last person a Jew would ever expect for someone to come help them would be a Samaritan. Samaritans did not help Jews in that way. In the same way, we as sinners, the last person who we would ever expect to come help us is the King of Heaven, who was perfect. Is this man who stepped out of heaven to come and dwell among us. That's the last person ever who we would think to come help us. And he took us and paid for all of our debts. Like, Jesus is the Good Samaritan story. And so then when you put that beside the Mary and Martha story, we're called to learn from the Good Samaritan story. We're called to sit at Jesus' feet to learn how and why he loved the way he loved. So then therefore, when we learn and sit at the feet of Jesus, we become more like him. And so in a way, you're not the Good Samaritan. You're the man who is beaten on the side of the road and begging for help. But as you learn and as you sit at the feet of Jesus and as you listen to him, you'll become more and more like the Good Samaritan. But to read the story in a way that you're the hero misses the main point of the gospel, that you're in need of help. And the main point of the gospel is that there is no boasting in the gospel because you were in need and you were a sinner. I really encourage y'all to go read the story again because it's always changed my life, and it's so cool to be reminded of what God has done for us in the gospel. Thank y'all.